All right, we still got some Batman and Robin and some Avengers. Find out if these new comics will make good movies and television shows. Check it out right now. All right, we're back with a new episode of Will These Comics Make Good Films and Television Shows to the Future? So let's get into some DC and some Marvel, and then I have an Image as well. We're only going to do 5 today to keep it at a low roll as far as the amount of time for these videos, and I have another 5. I had 10 comics this week. So I am your host, Frank Zanca. I'm an award-winning screenwriter and a line producer. I also produce and at UPM. I've worked in Hollywood for almost 20 years, and now I moved out to Atlanta to try my hand over here. And if you're watching this future, hopefully the strikes are over because nobody's working right now. If not, we got problems. If you're watching this like 3 years in the future, something's wrong. All right, so let's start with Batman and Robin. This is a #1 issue, and this is, I think, by Joshua Williamson, I believe. And yep. And so this takes place during the Gotham War between Catwoman and Batman. Right now, all of the Bat family, including Dick and Tim and Barbara, have all teamed up, and Cassandra also, have all teamed up against Batman. And Damian was the only one that stood in his corner, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But the whole storyline is that Catwoman has stopped all crime. There is no crime going on in all of Gotham except for burglaries of, I guess, the burglaries of the upper echelon of Gotham. So the rich people are getting burglarized while everybody else is being left alone. Catwoman is feeling the Robin Hood vibe, apparently. And she broke out of prison. Nobody cares that she broke out of prison. And not only did she break out of prison, but she took a whole bunch of other super criminals with her. Nobody cares. And now Joshua Williamson is thrown into write a Batman and Robin book when there's crime is all taken care of and there's only a few burglaries happening for rich people. Of course, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing he can do. Why launch this now? Because this destroys all the Gotham War. So, unless the book is just boring, but the best parts of this book is Damian and Bruce kind of trying to get along and cohabitate, because he lost so not only did he lose his fortune now, but he lost the mansion to, I forgot the immortal guy's name. But anyway, so he's Vandal Savage. So he lost the mansion to Vandal Savage. He's moving into a brownstone now, so they're living together, just the two of them. And the first scene is a kidnapping with White Rabbit. So we already have a kidnapping. So that destroys Gotham War right off the bat. It's already destroyed. The entire series now event is destroyed because it's wrong. Because Catwoman is immediately wrong. She didn't do anything. Then the next scene is Killer Croc with a whole bunch of guys doing other crimes. The entire event is already neutralized to zero. Why release? It was already a bad event, but why release this now? It makes no sense. And they even mentioned the Gotham War in it, so it takes place during this timeline. Bad move. Bad move. Makes no sense. All of DC is just like, what is going on? We just finished the event for Night Terrors. Nobody cared. Now we have this event. Nobody cares. Everybody thinks it's stupid. And you're destroying the characters because you're making the characters do things that they wouldn't normally do. You're just kind of trying to fit a square peg into a round hole, and it's just entirely evident and obvious that this doesn't make any sense. Then Robin has his own car. How did he get his own car? Is he even old enough to drive? And then on top of that, what? Is it not insured? So what if he hits somebody? I don't understand how that works anyway. I mean, I guess Batman just sends money. I guess they don't need insurance. I guess I don't know. So I don't know how that works. But he has a car. He didn't ask anybody to get it. He just somehow got it and modified it and put an R on it and all this stuff. It's yeah. I mean, it's not good. Some of the artwork is pretty decent. Got that nice old splash page with them fighting White Rabbit. Then they move into the brownstone, and then let's see. So then here's them making breakfast. He's trying to make breakfast for Bruce and coffee, and then here's the car. I don't understand it. So and here's Killer Croc and a whole bunch of fish people doing their thing. So it makes no sense. None of this makes any sense. And then the ending is a whole bunch of bats that are flying and attacking Batman. So the best parts of this are the parts with him and Damian not even being superheroes. The part when they are superheroes destroys the Gotham War. And then we have a silly ending. So, no. Right now, it's not that the series can't get good, but right now with Gotham War, his hands are tied. He's making wrong decisions. There's just nothing going on with it. It's very mid. It's not bad, but it's very mid. That's it for Batman and Robin for right now. So now we're going to go on to Green Lantern, written by a friend of mine named Jeremy Adams. With that being said, I don't pull any punches even with people I know. So the artwork is pretty decent in here. And I loved all the parts with Sinestro. All the stuff with Sinestro is good. I don't know if he lost his ring or whatever. He's got a gun in this. He's not doing anything supery with a ring. So anyway, it starts out with Hal plummeting towards Earth, and he suddenly gets the ring to work, which I don't understand if it's out of juice or whatever. I'm not sure how any of that works, but he stops himself, and I guess he's in the middle of Africa. So he makes a green construct, but then he makes a pink construct. What? And then he bubbles another animal while a cheetah's trying to kill it, and he makes it grow, or makes it seem like it grows, not it makes it grow. And I'm really confused by all this. The Green Lantern ring can't do any of that. So is Jeremy just deciding to make up new powers? I don't know. I'm just really confused by that. So then we get kind of Men in Black, where Sinestro knows that these CEOs or whatever else are actually aliens, so they change and attack him, and he just slaps them around like they're no big deal. And then I guess he asks them for help because they all show up with guns and they're going to attack this place. And they attack Ferris. That's what it is. They attack Ferris, I guess, to mess with Hal. And there's all the planes, and he's just blown them to hell. But then we haphazardly swap to a baseball game, and Hal is pitching to make this kid feel good. And he basically swings. He has a construct ball that he directs towards the bat, so the guy doesn't feel bad. Totally confused by that. Totally unnecessary scene. But then he bumps into Carol, and Carol's like, "Hey, we got to talk." I like that scene. That scene was good. And basically, she tells him, "Look, Sinestro's attacking us, and we got to do something about it." And then it's awkward between them, which is cool. That part's cool. It's the only parts I found awkward is when we had him doing odd things. The beginning, the middle with the baseball game, that was all odd to me. But I guess then he had a sit down with him, which is kind of cool. And I know some people like the backup story. I think the backup story is completely unnecessary, and hopefully it's Philip Kennedy Johnson. And I really hope that so this thing ends with them going into the new Green Lantern War Journal with the other Green Lanterns. So I really hope that there is no more backup story. That thing breaks off to this new series, and we can go back to a $3.99 cash price. And then they did a thing on Wonder Woman for upcoming Wonder Woman, which I'm going to review because the artwork here looks great, but the story sounds horrible. It's Tom King. But anyway, that's Green Lantern. So I'm going to reserve my judgment on this thing until I find out what Sinestro is doing. That's really what the story is. Everything else is just him and Carol, their relationship. The last 2 episodes, so that's 2 issues that were all just about him and Carol. And so I don't know what's going on. All right, so I'm going to go into Teen Titans. This book by Mark Waid. So this is the world's finest, so it's out of continuity. They're younger in here, and they have a Titans convention, which they decide to go to, but Batman tells Robin not to go because we don't want any pictures taken. They can, possibly facial recognition, blah, blah, blah. We don't want anything coming out from that, which makes total sense. And then we have a geek guy that I guess is in love with Queen Bee there, or whatever her name is. And he makes things come to life, and Robin basically shows up, I guess, by telling Batman, go screw yourself, I'm not going to listen. And he says, he's using his hands to cast a spell, so let's clamp his hands. And the guy's name is Toy Boy. Because we have Toy Man, so now we have to have Toy Boy. Which almost sounds sexual. So, but anyway, Toy Boy gets released. Somebody frees him from custody. And you know what? I just don't care. This is just silly. This is just a silly book. And some people like that. It's just a fun story. But, a convention, we've seen the comic conventions in comics dozens and dozens and dozens of times. This is nothing new. As far as I'm concerned, this is lazy. And I, at number 3, I think there's only 6 issues. At number 3, I am done. I took it off my pull list. I am not continuing that one. Sorry, Mark. I'll stick with the regular world's finest with Batman and Superman, but the Teen Titans ones is just a letdown. Okay, so Avengers Inc. number 1. So we have another first issue. I don't know. Marvel and DC apparently don't have enough books. They have to constantly come up with number 1s. So this is Janet Van Dyne, who is the Wasp. I guess one of the guys that she put away in Blackgate, or not Blackgate, I guess Blackgate. I think Blackgate is DC. The Raft is shot in the head. So one of the supervillains is shot in the head, and she's asked to come there by Luke Cage, who is mayor, and she finds out there's a whole bunch of supervillains that have all been shot in the head. All right. So here's my problem right off the bat. Luke Cage is married to who? Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is what? A detective. An actual full-blown licensed detective. But he bypassed his own wife to go to Janet Van Dyne, who does not have a license and is not a detective? Why? Doesn't make any sense. It's totally contrived. Then, on top of that, suddenly, all the people that were dead come back to life. They suddenly come back to life. I don't understand any of it. And they attack them, and they're like, what just happened? Why are we dead? Why are we coming back? Why are we in a morgue? We're in a morgue. I'm scared. What's going on? And then the guy that was shot in the head that she was investigating the first time ends up being a pseudo Vision. What? It's not Vision, but it maybe it's Vision's half a Vision. I don't understand any of it. This whole thing makes no sense whatsoever. Just none. Plus, I think she wasn't allowed to use her powers. I think it was something like that. You can't use any powers in there, but then again, she could. And then they set up the fact that they're doing Avengers Inc. and now they have a detective thing going on, the detective agency that does not include Jessica Jones. So whatever. And then you have this post credits thing where you have Hank Pym show up. So, will it make a good film or television show? No, it's plain stupid. This is not good. The whole thing is contrived. If you're going to write a mystery, you got to write a mystery that makes sense. You got to write a mystery that has red herrings. You can't just have a red herring, a detective story where nobody's really dead. I mean, I've seen them that they come, that they've faked their death or whatever else. That's not what this is. They suddenly just come back to life. Like it was all a big, scam to begin with. But they're in a morgue. Therefore, I thought that they had some kind of a autopsy done or anything to that effect. But no, nothing was done. I guess they didn't even know that they were really dead or not. Do they not have, even if they're still, first of all, if they're still in the prison, I don't understand why. You had deaths, they were immediately sent back to the mainland, or you would have them autopsied right there. Because you'd have to find out who the killer was, and you would need someone with medical talents to give Janet the medical reason for their death, right? And if the bullets were not real, what kind of caliber it was, or blah blah blah, that would really help her, figure out who the killer was, or if it was a laser blast or whatever. You need a medical person to do that. She's not a medical person. So this is trash, unfortunately. I won't be continuing that either. So goodbye, number one. All right, so then we have the Cull number 2. And I told you guys before that Kelly Thompson, for me, is hit or miss. I read 50 issues of her Captain Marvel run. And it was always like this. And when it was valid, it was valid. I mean, there were some issues in there that I would give it a 1. It's so bad. And then she had some other good stuff that, I would never give a 10, but at least we're better than average. Or fun or whatever. So then she's doing this thing for Image that's an original piece from her, where the last issue really had no story. It was all about this character building, about them trying to do some kind of a horror movie or whatever else at night, and they go into this cave, and suddenly inside the cave they're transported to a different world. And that was the last page. So we had no story. And guess what? We have no story in here either. There is no story to this. If you have a 6-issue thing and by issue 2 you have no idea what it's about, you got a problem. So once again, it's about these people who don't seem to be worried about the fact that they may not be able to get home. They don't even test to see if we can get back. I gotta say though that the artwork is through the roof, man. It's very good. It's very cinematic. But again, it's more, hey, how much sex can we put in here? So we have lesbian kisses, and then we have the one actress who goes to the one guy, because there's only one guy. And Kelly Thompson's saying you're lucky to have one, but there will be no more than one man in a story. So even though all of their friends are literally right outside the forest entrance, they're literally 30 feet away, she says to this dude, let's have sex. Let's not worry about our lives or the fact that there's alien stuff all around us or we can't get back or there's monsters or whatever. No, let's just go in the woods and have sex. What? And what? They don't care if anybody walks in on them on top of everything else? And then, again, the last page, we find an alien. I don't understand it. So outside of the artwork, this book is, I don't care. I gave it 2 issues to figure out what was going on, and there's literally nothing going on. It's just Kelly Thompson self-flatulating. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing, but there's nothing here. So 5 up, 5 down. There is absolutely nothing I recommend. I recommend Batman and Robin to see what happens, where it may get better, and it's a #1 issue. But as far as film and television is concerned, there's nothing. There's literally nothing in that 5 that would constitute anything that's a good television show or not, or a movie. So that's it for me. Unfortunately, there is nothing I can recommend. But I do have 5 more this week. So let's see what those 5 do. So maybe I just got the bad batch to begin with. And I read the first 5, and the second 5 are better. All right, so let's go into my own stuff. Remember that I have or if you're visiting for the first time, remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because I am trying to build the channel out. I am monetized, but I'm not getting enough views to really make a difference here. So I'm hoping to change that. So this is my novel. It's my latest one. It's The Tales of Ravenor and the Iron Witch. So we have plenty of different cultures that are in different kingdoms, and the Iron Witch is coming to take over that continent. So plenty of little twists and turns. And you can hear my phone. I've only been doing this like 15 minutes here, 20 minutes, and my phone doesn't stop. My phone is R2-D2 all day long. I don't get it. So we have Destiny Aurora. This is my sci-fi 4-novel series. This is the adaptation in the comic form. We have plenty of aliens and robots and dog fighting and sword fighting and a big twist that if you see coming, I'll be surprised. Of course, if you go back, I do tell you everything that's going on. So, Lords of L.A., this is my vampire mob in the 1950s. So it's Hollywood basically during the heyday. So we have Marilyn Monroe in it, things to that effect. And we have vampires running the mob. And we have a disgruntled vampire that feels like her life was stolen and is taking revenge. So the second issue I'm going to be launching on Kickstarter. I was hoping to kind of work on that today, but I got to go to work for a little bit. I did get to work on the soundstage. All right, that's it for me, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. All right.